What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to talk about our top 5 X Factor players in the league. Let's get into it.
Okay, so now first, small disclaimer. My top 5 are in no particular order. No particular order.
In my top 5, not yours.
Right.
It could potentially be different. It's my view. So let's get into it.
All right. So number 1, I have Terrence Mann of the Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, God.
Yes. Terrence Mann is the backup to Paul George, Mr. Energy. They need him off the bench. I really like the fact that he gets to play with Rajon Rondo, his childhood idol, and he's playing fantastic. I know you agree because you're a big Clipper fan.
I am. I like the Clippers. Big Clipper fan is putting extra on it, but I do like the Clippers. I am rooting for them because I want to see them recover from that disastrous exit in the bubble.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Terrence Mann, good. All right. So I have Norman Powell of the Portland Trailblazers. He is one of my X factors that I think will really help push the Portland Trailblazers to perhaps go a little bit deeper into the playoffs.
I like Norman. That's a good pick.
Norman Powell, because we already know he is an NBA champion. I don't know who didn't see his contribution and production in the 2019 NBA Finals. But not only that, I think he adds a level of defense that the Portland Trailblazers needed on their roster. Yes, they had to get rid of Trent Jr., which I think was kind of sad. And if you think about it from a point production perspective, maybe you can, say they may have been the same in a sense. But Norman Powell is much bigger. He has experience because he's been there recently. I'm not talking about been there a long time ago. He's a recent NBA champion, right? And we know what he can do offensively, but I think his defensive expertise is what's going to help finally move the Portland Trailblazers along.
Excuse me. Have you seen what Gary Trent Jr. is doing up in Toronto?
Balling. I know. I'm not saying that. No, I know that. So I said that Gary Trent Jr. was really nice for the Portland Trailblazers. Keep in mind, Norman Powell is actually starting. He wasn't starting when he was with the Toronto Raptors. So he's starting now. What the Trailblazers needed was Norman Powell on this roster at this time. This is not to say that Trent Jr. is not a baller either. It's nothing against him.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to challenge your top 5. I don't know why. I just wanted to challenge your.
I'm like, why you? I never said anything. I don't mean it. If I came off negative on Gary Trent Jr., don't take it that way. No, I think he's exactly where he needs to be, and he should continue to ball because he was balling when he was with the Trailblazers. I think that the Trailblazers needed a Norman Powell because they needed him more for his defensive expertise and his ability, his experience, recent playoff experience.
Yes. And Portland definitely needs that oomph to get over because Dame and CJ can't do it alone. You can't count on Nurkic. His health, he's in and out. So yeah. Okay. All right. So my second X factor is Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics. Marcus, to me, is their heart and soul. Now, I know the Celtics 1-2 punch is Jalen and Jason, and I think they finally figured it out in that particular order, right? Jason first, Jalen second option, and then you might throw in Marcus Smart. His 3-ball has been very inconsistent, I think, because in my mind, I think this might be Marcus's last year with the Boston Celtics. Yeah, I think he might be on the chopping block along with Brad Stevens. But I think if his 3-ball can start dropping, watch out, Celtics. Right now, they're on a little run right now. I understand they had a little meeting amongst themselves, and that's exactly what they needed. And they need Marcus Smart to start hitting them shots. And if he does, watch out, Eastern Conference.
You know what? I would not have considered Marcus Smart to be an X factor. For me, he is one of the top 3 stars on the team.
Really? Oh, no.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen him as an X factor. But okay, that's your
It's
What's
mine.
your list?
Yes, it's my list.
Okay. I'm going to go to the West and I'm going to talk about the Denver Nuggets. And I believe their X factor is Michael Porter Jr.,
Oh, yes, definitely.
especially now since Jamal Murray is out, right?
Mhm.
So, Michael Porter Jr., hi, that base you carried in the 2020 bubble when you didn't believe you were getting enough touches. Um, hi, you're here.
Right. It's time.
Time. It is your time. And I think that although he may get about 16 touches now, I'm gonna need that to increase.
Mm.
And he has been doing very well this season. He is starting this season more often than he didn't start last season. He is in his third season because his first season he didn't play due to injury, right? When he got
Mhm.
drafted.
Mhm.
This is it. Your time, Michael Porter Jr., is right now. Because I can tell you right now, the Denver Nuggets point guards, Campazzo, Morris, and that other dude. First of all, you can't replace Jamal Murray. Let's just be,
Yeah,
I'm
you
going to go
can.
ahead and put that out there.
I
But I
know.
do believe that if Michael Porter Jr. do more than what he's doing now, because what he's doing now worked. It worked with their current roster. But their current roster has been changed because of Jamal Murray's out. I'm
Mhm.
going to need Michael Porter Jr. to now take up the slack in some way. It is not Aaron Gordon. No, because they didn't bring Aaron Gordon over to do what you need to do in order to
Uh-uh.
get this team to maintain their standing in the West.
Okay. That's a
Michael Porter
good
Jr.
pick too. Yeah, you're on the roll. All right.
Oh, I'm glad you
So
appreciate that.
all right. So look, my third X factor is Nicholas Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets. Oh, they need him. I like Nick Claxton. Have you seen him on
Yeah.
defense? He's so athletic and long and energetic. You know what I like about him? He brings youth to the Nets starting lineup right now. Because look, KD is what? 32 years old. James Harden 31, Kyrie 29, Joe Harris, I think he's 31.
Uncle Joe.
Yeah, Uncle Joe. Nick Class is only 21 years old. They need him. They need him more than he needs the Nets at this point. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, his youth will be welcomed as they go deep into the playoffs. I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with that. Oh, that's a good one. Nick Claxton. All right. I'm going to also be in the East. I'm going to go with Nerlens Noel of the
Ooh.
New York Knicks.
Okay.
We all know that Julius Randle is balling all the way out of
Yes.
control. We all know that Julius Randle has put the Knicks back on notice for a lot of people, right? But that Nerlens Noel, oh, can I say all the smoke?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He, I can
Don't
I
walk in that paint. I'm just saying. Don't come into the paint if you play in the New York Knicks.
watch it. It's two things, right? And I think that people need to realize when I'm looking at X Factor, it's what's in the stat line, but it's with the eye test.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a rim protector that does not mind getting banged up and will bang up
Mm-hmm.
players, that stuff, I don't know exactly where that shows on the stat line. Oh, is that the defensive rating? And oh, what does that look like? And that's fine. But when you see them play, when I see Noel play, I say, now that's somebody right there that's going to hustle for the ball. You will not be able to get past Noel without working for it. And if you don't have the grit that he comes with, you are going to be bulldozed. And that is what I'm saying about Nerlens Noel. And I believe because he's so gritty, and because he's able to block at a high percentage, and because he has great defensive presence.
Yeah.
So not only is he an X factor, for me, the Knicks are also an X factor in the East.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, good. Ooh, Nerlens. Okay. I'm still riding the Eastern Conference. I got Dwight Howard as my fourth X factor this season. Dwight comes off the bench, but I'm telling you, when Joel Embiid sits down or if he's ever in foul trouble, Dwight Howard is a great substitute.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get all the smoke too. What Nerlens Noel is to the Knicks, for me, is what Dwight Howard is for the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, we saw it last year in the NBA Finals, right?
Yeah, I think that teams that can get Dwight Howard in foul trouble or technical foul trouble early,
Yeah.
out of the game, and they won't have to worry about him for the rest of the game. So Dwight Howard plays like this is when they used to be able to touch players like that. And these modern players, they sometimes don't know how to handle it. They get
modern players.
I don't know how else to say it. Is there another way to say it?
No, but yeah, that's a great way of putting it. So are you saying that these newer players are a little soft?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying their game is different. And I'm saying their game is different.
Finesse.
I wouldn't say soft. I'll just say different.
Who? Finesse. Yeah.
I say
more
different.
Finesse. Okay, different.
Okay.
Right,
You want to say finesse? That's fine. I say different. It's just different. It's different. And Dwight Howard is still playing like days of old, if you will, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at all. I just think that it's a little bit different. And I can see when Dwight Howard plays, he gets under the player's skin quickly.
Yeah, he does.
He gets under their skin quickly. And when he does that, it throws them off their game. So that is something I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you know, my last thing on Dwight Howard, him playing for the Sixers has, I think, elevated Joel Embiid's game and Joel Embiid's physical fitness. Joel Embiid is in the best shape of his life right now. Have you noticed? I mean, he's slim and trim, and he's able, if he were able to play the whole game, I think he could. And I think that's because he bangs with Dwight Howard during practice, period. And Dwight has a motor out of this world.
Agreed.
Oh, okay, Roger. Yeah.
I agree. No. I nailed it.
Okay.
All right. So my next one, I'm going to be in the East as well, and I'm going to go back to Boston. You say Marcus Smart. I say Evan Fournier. I say that because they need someone to take up the points that Kemba Walker will leave on the court. And he's played 4 games with Boston. Unfortunately, currently, as I speak, he is on health and safety protocols. So hopefully once that is over and everything is all well, he'll be able to get back into the game. But when he played with Orlando, he put up the points, right? When he's going to be playing with Boston for the 4 games he played, he was 11 of 16 from the 3-point range. 11 of 16. Again, when you can put up double digits coming off the bench, because you know that Kemba Walker's going to leave bench. He's going to leave points on the floor.
Yep.
You need that. And so I think what I can say is that he will come ready to shoot. And I believe that because he proved that when he was with Orlando. And from the 4 games he played with the Boston Celtics, he proved it as well. So, we'll see how he continues to develop. But I think that's the X factor because that's somebody new to the Boston Celtics roster that was not there for the previous part of the season.
And Danny Ainge has been quoted as saying that he's going to be the jolt that the Celtics needed. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's who they brought in. Okay, so my last X factor is also in the Eastern Conference. This guy played under Tibbs, blue collar worker in the Eastern Conference for the New York Knicks, Taj Gibson. Don't play. Taj and Nerlens Noel and Julius Randle on the defense. I mean, it's unbelievable how Tibbs has them playing D. Tibbs is known for that, that tough, roughneck type basketball, but they have really taken on his whole personality. They did a good job finding players that were even capable of doing that,
The Knicks? The Knicks. Blue collar. When I say the Knicks, when you got Julius Randle making the most money and it's not even past 20 million, when you got Nerlens Noel who signed a 1-year deal for $5 million, and he is playing like he should be making Rudy Gobert's money. You can't tell me they're not hungry. They give me, when you play against the Knicks, I will say it again, you will be beat physically when you're done. They put it all out there. You will have to fight for every win. And that Tibbs, have you seen him walk the sideline?
Uh-huh.
He's
He's like a
Oh,
drill sergeant
oh,
out
he
there.
don't play. But you know
Yeah.
what though? They've connected with that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, and this is a side note, do you think that's why Austin Rivers didn't connect?
Oh, yeah, because Austin, how can I say this nicely? But Austin is not about that life. Lots have been given to him his entire life and even in his basketball life. Austin should not have been paid that big money. His father got him that contract. He hasn't earned his contract. I'm sorry. Yeah, the answer is yes.
He was not. There is no way. When I see the Knicks roster right now, if you don't come to the arena with a lunch pail, you are not going to be happy there at all. And if you see Tibbs walk the sideline,
yeah, and his voice carries. You can hear. It's crazy. Yeah, Tibbs is a drill sergeant, and he got those guys playing hard with a hard hat too, and a lunch pail, like you said.
And let me tell you though, and I think when Austin Rivers got traded, he did that because I don't think Austin Rivers fit. I'm not saying Austin Rivers can't do well other places, anywhere else. I don't think he was a fit there, but I think it proved to the other players, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are and who you know. If you're not a fit for my team, you ain't gonna be playing with me. I will not be coaching you. And I love that.
Isn't it great that RJ Barrett, very young in his career, gets to experience that? He's going to carry this everywhere he plays his entire career. He's going to be great in this league.
You're not going to bully Tibbs. I'm going to tell you right now. Oh my God. I get so excited. And when I see him walk the sideline, I'm like, you get him. You can tell he be. And it's so funny. I almost think that I wonder if the players, when they play, they do something wrong. They're like, oh, I'm getting ready to get. He gonna get me.
Yeah. I bet you he has them run those, extra drills in practice when you miss a free throw or when you miss a defensive assignment. I bet you he's like, yeah, at the 4-minute mark in this last game, you did not get back on defense. So here, going to run these extra laps real quick. I can see that.
Here for it. But you know what though? Players that can handle that type of coaching will thrive.
Yes.
Under him. And this is what we're seeing today. So yeah. Okay.
You know what? Wait. Okay. You know who else could fit though? Marcus Smart. He could fit with the New York Knicks.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Let me hear your fit X factor. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna take it on back to the West to a team that I like, but not my favorite team.
No, here we go.
That I like.
Let me hear it.
I think the X factor for the Los Angeles Clippers is Reggie Jackson. It just is. It just is. As a matter of fact, Reggie Jackson has been holding down that point guard position, and the team has been doing very well when he plays point guard. That I think that if he continues to do that, even if he has to move over to the 2 for whatever reason, they want to bring in Rondo and then you got Pat Bev come back, whatever. At the end of the day, the one that you can rely on will be Reggie Jackson. You can't rely on Pat Bev. You just can't. Rondo is still new to the operation, and Rondo, I guess we'll see in the playoffs, whatever. Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is the one. He's the X factor.
He is. In previous videos, I said that Reggie is a way better fit than Patrick Beverley. He's the younger version. He plays solid defense, good offense, way better offensively than Patrick Beverley. And Reggie's not getting paid any money. They're gonna have to figure out his salary moving forward.
I know. They'll be able to do that once they make some changes in the offseason.
Okay. All right. I sure hope so.
Yeah, no, but Reggie Jackson's my X factor for my last X factor for the LA Clippers. Yes.
Okay. Very nice. All right, you guys, we are going to wrap up this video on our top 5 X factors in the NBA today. Drop down in the comments and let us know if you have some of the same X factors as we do. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Thank you all for tuning in. But until then,
peace.
Peace, y'all.